This episode is brought to you by our good friends at Wilderness Labs. Meadow by Wilderness Labs is the only IoT developer platform that supports full .NET on microcontrollers out there. Their mission is to make building IoT hardware as easy as creating web or mobile apps. Get 10% off when you use the code IoT For All at their online store at store.wildernesslabs.co. Welcome, Gaurav, to the IoT For All Podcast. Thanks for being here this week.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Exciting conversation planned. We've had a relationship with John Deere for a number of years. Got to see some really cool products over the years that they developed. So excited to kind of dive into what's going on over there now and just kind of the overall role AI, IoT, and all that kind of stuff's playing in the agriculture and farming space. So before we dive in, though, I'd love it if you give a quick overview, maybe of your background, your experience, and just a little bit more information about the company.
I've been with Blue River for like 4.5 years now. And I grew up in India. I went to school there. Then I did my grad school in Canada. And I came to the Bay Area like roughly 15 years ago. So like really interesting part about my career is like all these 15 years, I've only worked on the autonomy problem. So I started with cars, working for Toyota and Mercedes-Benz. Then I worked on autonomous airplanes for Airbus. And then roughly 4.5 years ago, 2 years after John Deere had bought Blue River, which is a fully owned subsidiary of Deere, I started working on our autonomous tractor program, and it's been a awesome ride. And in my current role, so I'm leading the engineering for our autonomy products for Blue River, which includes our flagship John Deere autonomous tractor.
That's awesome. I know John Deere has always worked to be a leader in the space when it comes to new technologies, and IoT is a big one, and AI now, obviously. So, I wanted to ask you, just take us through from when you got involved with John Deere up until now. What has been the role of IoT, of AI in the organization? How was it kind of brought in? And then how has it gotten to where it is now? And what does that look like as a part of just what and who John Deere is?
That's an excellent question, Ryan. So, at Deere, we have actually been innovating in the precision ag space like for decades. And starting with the development of our own GPS network, Starfire. So it helps navigate machines in the farm with a sub-inch level accuracy. So Deere is actually, one of the five companies in the world that has its own global satellite correction network that allows us to give this level of precision. Second core component of what we do is connectivity. Because machines are connected, it enables farmers to have a macro level awareness of where the vehicles are, where they're navigating, and it allows us to build out lots of individual robotics and IoT technologies. So this includes John Deere's autonomous tractor, but it also includes things like individual nozzle, its spraying, and row units for planting. They are IoT devices that are connected, and kind of the other really important tool that we have, an important offering that we have, is because the machines are connected, all of this data that it gets feed into John Deere Operation Center, and you can think of John Deere Operation Center as like the operating system of the farm. So if you're a farmer, you're making like hundreds of decisions every day in your operation. You have a large crew. What John Deere Operation Center enables you to do is you can remotely monitor your machines at any time. You know where they are located, what is the job quality through the live camera view. It enables you to do things like you can plan out your labor because you would know that how long it would take to finish a particular field. And then just kind of the last important thing that I would mention here is with John Deere Operation Center allows farmers to do. It enables them to make some of the best decisions about their farming because all of this data is going into Operation Center year by year, and it's connected to like 260 software tools in the background, so using which farmers can actually determine what is the best tillage prescription, what is the best planting prescription, nutrients for their farm, so that they can get the best possible yield. And this whole system, it allows them to determine that and wirelessly send it to the machine to be able to implement. So these are like some of the core technologies that we have been building and making it available to our customers.
So it sounds like John Deere is just a big emphasis of everything that goes on over there is around technology, which is very exciting, I think. But I think before we dive in further to kind of all these topics, I would love to take a step back and frame things a little bit differently for our audience who might not be as familiar with the farming agriculture space as much. So one way to do that would be to talk about the biggest challenges that farmers are facing. And this is kind of alluding to how technology can and is solving these challenges. So just like take us through where the biggest challenges are in the farming and agriculture space right now as it relates to obviously what John Deere focuses on.
Farming is hard work. Farmers are constantly up against challenges, and I'll give you like my top three. So first is the population of world is growing. Today there are 8 billion people in the world. They're expected to grow to 10 billion by 2050. And what that means for farmers is that they got to produce more while the amount of arable land remains the same. Second big challenge that farmers have is extreme variability. So from shifts in weather, to variations in topography and soil conditions, that could have like significant effects on farmers' ability to produce. Specifically, sometimes there could be the windows of work could be critically short, like right before the harvest season or right before the planting season. Uh, and then, kind of the third really big challenge for farmers is the labor challenge. In US, the average age of a farmer is over 55 years. In these really high, peak seasons, they're typically working 12 to 18-hour days. And if you look out, 5 years out in the US, the labor is expected to increase only by about 1% in for agriculture workers. So these are like some really really big challenges that farmers face, and that's why they need advanced technology so that they're able to do more with less.
If we talk specifically about the role IoT is playing in the farming space, what are some of the kind of key use case examples that farmers are kind of gravitating towards that have really kind of led the way and are taking off? Where they're really realizing that ROI.
Connectivity is obviously like key for farmers, so if the machines are connected, that would enable them to take plant level action at a large scale. At Deere, uh, using connectivity and using the latest technology in computer vision and artificial intelligence, uh, we are building we're building things that could really enable farmers to run their operation in a cost effective and more productive manner. So I'll give you two important examples that we are building on technology. So first is Deere's autonomous tractor. We've been working on it for more than 5 years now. Currently, it's available. It's helping farmers with tillage. So that's the process where you prepare the soil for the next season. So, how does Deere's autonomous tractor work? Like, if you're a farmer, so what you have to do is you go to a field and you map the field. Essentially, you're building a digital fence where the autonomous tractor is going to run, and you determine that, and you wirelessly send that path or the digital fence to the tractor. After that, you bring the tractor to the field, you set it up, you go to your app on the John Deere Operation Center. You like you basically just go and swipe to start, and then the machine starts doing work. Farmer does not have to be in the cab; they can go and focus on other critical parts of their operation. And just bringing you a little bit under the hood. I know you have we have a good technology audience here. Like how are we building this autonomous tractor? So it's a camera based approach, not very different from what Tesla does for cars. So we have six stereo pairs that look at 360-degree around the vehicle, and we've been over the last 5 years, we've collected like close to 500 million images for autonomous tractor. And using this, we have built our ML algorithms that run on board on NVIDIA Jetson GPUs, and they're able to determine if there is an obstacle. If there is any obstacle, our system determines it, and it stops the vehicle. And now, for farmer, another key capability that we have enabled is on using the app on the John Deere Operation Center. They can actually go and see the live view of the cameras, so they know they can see what the tractor is seeing. They can see how the job is being done, and while they are doing other things on their farm or spending time more time with their family. So that's one big use case that we are building. Second, critical piece of technology that we have built out is our see and spray system. So as you know, like in farming, farmers traditionally had to spray the entire fields, and they use herbicides to it for it, so that they can get rid of the weeds that steal like the nutrients and sun from the crop. But now if you go one step deeper into this, actually, as it turns out, majority of what you are spraying is not weed. It's actually crop or the ground. So what we did at Deere in our see and spray system is, so on a sprayer which has a 120 feet wide boom, we placed 36 cameras. And using NVIDIA GPUs, we are again this machine learning algorithm that we are running. It's in real time determining if there is a weed or not. If there is a weed, we turn on the nozzle and it will spray. If there is not a weed, we would not spray. Uh, and if you just thinking of the technology that we have on this sprayer, so with these 36 cameras, we are able to scan more than 2,200 square feet of land every second, which is equivalent to 1.2 billion pixels. And you can think of it like if you were using laptops to process this, it would require 1,500 laptops or 6,000 people with human eye. So that's kind of the tech, that we are running on this player. And while it's all running in the field at 15 miles an hour, uh, and again, where like connectivity kind of really helps us out there is, so we do all the processing both in autonomous tractor and see and spray. It's happening on board, but we are able to upload this data, to the cloud, using which with time we are able to make our system more efficient, more better performant.
So I imagine AI and computer vision are playing a pretty big role in a lot of what you're doing here because of all the cameras you have, the pace at which decisions need to be made on the farm as things are moving and identifying objects, identifying weeds, all that kind of information. I imagine there's a lot of processing that is being done, and AI and computer vision seem to be something that I imagine fits in quite well here.
100%, because both computer vision and AI, they enable this important tool for us. And uh, and the way we do this is, we use state of the art technologies like chat gpt. There's a lot of buzz around it, for last year and a half. So when we're building our autonomous tractor for John Deere, so the AI algorithm that we use, it's based on the same transformer technology. We run like a vision transformer to be able to have the tractor run autonomously. And another thing that I would say is also important is data. So because we have been doing it at John Deere for many years, so we have collected huge data sets for our customer, which enables us to build and provide these solutions, for the farmers.
One thing I wanted to ask, I imagine it's in a quite a better spot now than it ever has been. Is a lot of these farms are in remote areas. They might not have cellular connectivity. How has connectivity matured to a point to enable a lot of these technologies to actually exist, these use cases to exist?
Ryan, that's an excellent question. So, like some of the tech that we talked about today, like autonomous tractor, it would allow farmers to be able to run 24/7. It would allow them to focus on other parts of the operation. See and spray would allow them to save like up to two-thirds of the herbicide. Operation center would allow them to make these key decisions in real time. And connectivity is a core piece of it. You are absolutely right that remains a challenge, especially in the rural areas where the farms tend to be. So today, as it turns out, in US, like roughly 75% of the areas we have good connectivity, but around 25% they either have like poor or no connectivity. Another important place is Brazil, which is like the third largest egg exporter in the world. And in Brazil, the agriculture customers have only 25%, or 25% of them have reliable connectivity. So what we're doing at Deere is we have signed a partnership with Starlink earlier this year, which we believe is going to be part of the solution. And second is we continue to advocate for better connectivity in rural areas, which would allow farmers when they have to produce more. They have all these labor challenges. So that's another thing that we continue to do.
I assume Starlink was going to be involved somehow. So that makes a ton of sense. So let me ask you, as kind of things are moving forward through the rest of this year into next year, what's on the horizon for John Deere in this space, but also just smart farming as an industry? Like what should people be paying attention to? What's really on that horizon that gets everybody excited?
Love this question, Ryan. I'm so glad you asked me this. So, at John Deere, our goal is to have by 2030 a fully autonomous production system for corn and soybeans. That's the goal that we're building towards. Connectivity is obviously going to be a key part of it. So would be AI, machine learning, cloud, and IoT. And this is going to unlock new opportunities for the farmers. And the way we see the future, that the farms in future are going to be all connected and autonomous, and this is exactly going to enable our customers to be able to do plant level management and sustainable operations, which they require to feed, fuel, and clothe our growing population.
I imagine as connectivity has gotten better, smart farming, smart agriculture in general has become quite a popular spot for these technologies to kind of really infiltrate and become part of the day to day. And you could just think about all the possibilities on what this can enable, how this can improve operational efficiencies, how this can just really make things better for all of these companies and individuals who work and run these remote farms and agricultural kind of companies. And I think it's really exciting to see how this has become a leading industry within IoT and AI for the adoption of these technologies. So yeah, it's exciting to see what you all have going on. I remember, I want to say it was pre-pandemic that we went to I forget which event it was. I think it might have been CES. And we went up and saw one of the big combines that you all had that had a lot of different IoT technologies and sensors and things in it. And it was a really cool experience. They had the whole combine inside, which first of all, if you've ever seen one of these things, they're massive. So it was inside this hall, and you kind of got taken through this experience where you were kind of like underneath the combine, seeing how the sensors are working, how it's laying seeds and doing its job with sensors, with with these technologies. And it was fascinating. So, to the point of, this is probably 4 or 5 years ago now, where you all are at, it's quite impressive.
Yeah, no, thank you, and yeah, and I think we like as we talked about today, like that our farmers, like, they continue to face these numerous challenges, right? Like around labor, being able to produce more, variability in topography, weather, and and we very strongly believe in Deere that using precision ag and using all of these smart technologies that build around like data, cloud, AI, machine learning. These are the tools, that we are. That's what we do at Deere, so that we can provide them to our farmers, so that they can continue to, grow the crops for the world.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very exciting stuff. Before I let you go, how can people learn more about what you have going on? Just kind of stay up to date on not just what's happening at John Deere, but anything you're putting out around smart farming.
All the products and services, that we are working at Deere. I invite people to go to www.deere.com. It has more information on what we are building, and kind of how we are supporting farmers.
Fantastic. We'll make sure we share that with our audience. But other than that, yeah, really appreciate the time. It was a great conversation. Thanks for being here and excited to get this out to our audience.
That was a lot of fun, Ryan. Thanks a lot.